Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to our exclusive interview with His Excellency Dr. Ali Gholampour, the Iranian ambassador to Kenya. Now, there have been recent developments in Iran, and as Kenyans, whatever is happening in Iran is likely going to affect Kenya. How is it going to affect us? That is what we'll be looking at today. My name is Zuhra Mula. Karibu sana Bwana Ambassador. How are you doing?
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to speak
welcome.
to you. Asante,
Thank you for
asante.
your time.
It's a pleasure to speak
It's
to you.
a pleasure here.
Now, there has been a lot of information going around Iran. There's a lot of unrest. And as Kenyans, or rather many Kenyans, are curious to understand what exactly is happening. And some of the information that we have seen online is that some high-profile government officials, during this unrest, they fled the country. Did this actually happen? And maybe what led to these current events?
Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. You're right. These days we have many different news that are published from medias around the world, but with their narratives. Most of them are fabricated narratives, and they are not the facts. They are not a reflection of the facts on the ground. So this question is very important in the sense that we can provide you officially what has happened during the protests in Iran, and what is the, as you say, the rumors, many fake news has been aired, which is not true, as you mentioned, the one example of fleeing the Iranian authorities. You know, what happened is, in Iran is a result of the whole enmity and hostility by the United States, a few other Western countries against the Islamic Republic of Iran since its inception 47 years ago. So the reason is that Iran now is an independent country and standing on its own feet, and very resilient, despite the fact that it has been suffering significantly and radically by the sanction regimes, illegal and illegitimate, unilateral coercive measures that has been imposed on Iran, and it's especially on its economy because of a kind of total economic embargo imposed on Iran. You know, in the almost through these demonstrations, and from the day of 8th day, you know, because it started on 28th of December and continued until to 7th, 8th of January, and from the 7th and 8th January to 10 for 2-3 days maximum. You know, all of the sudden, and it's because of it was an organized and planned scenario from outside to incite and ignite people to come on to and encourage them, inciting them. And it was happened because, you know, very outrightly, the President of the United States, Trump, has declared that we will attack Iran if Iran is going to take some police measures in controlling the demonstrations. And also many authorities, from ex-authorities and current authorities, and many, you know, those who are observing these all developments, they also came and said that, okay, you go on the streets and we are with you. The Israeli agents are on the streets and beside you. And if Iran is taking any measure to bring back the order, we will attack Iran. So it was an incitement and a cause for the people to be encouraged, you know, to come on the streets. And from the other side, in the middle of those protests, all of a sudden, you know, many armed groups and organized cells that they were motivated and supported financially. Many of them are payrolled by foreigners from the Israeli funds and from the US and elsewhere. They came into the country and on the streets, and they returned everything to a violent action, to a riot case scenario, And the operation was like very terroristic operations, like IS style operations. And they used the firearms to shoot ordinary people on the streets, and even those who were not participating in the protests. And then, they also set on fire, all the properties, public properties, public transportation vehicles, fire vehicles, fire extinguishing vehicles, the ambulances, and even they attacked from very close distance people who were in protest, and also they attacked very brutally, and just they beheaded many police officers and others. They put on fire alive people, and they stabbed by many different tools, and including firearms. And they also attacked many worship buildings and centers like mosques. So all these things happened in a very terroristic manner of operation, ISIS, Daesh style. The government and the police forces, security forces, they had to take measures in order to bring back the order and the security to the public and to the country.
Before we get to the measures that actually the government took, if I'm getting right from what you've shared, that these grievances started because of the economic situation in the country.
Exactly, yeah.
So it started as a peaceful protest, and then it escalated because of foreign nationals' interference.
Yeah.
Now, you've mentioned about property being destroyed rather, and also some people losing their lives.
Sure.
Do we have numbers of how many people we've lost?
Yeah, in terms of the number that has been lost, the lives, first of all, I wish to express my wholehearted and sincere grievances and condolences, and sympathy to those who have lost and their families in Iran, our citizens. The number which has been officially up until now declared, announced, is around 3,117, something like that, in that figure. And from out of this number, almost 2,700 are martyred around that figure. The rest have been those who have been committed acts of violence, or using firearms, or attack police forces, or committing terrorist acts. So this is the figure that have been officially issued. And I think it's the final figures that have been announced.
Okay. Now, there was some measures that the government took to actually contain this protest. And one of them was the internet shutdown. And I mean, we live in a digital age where internet is everything. Accessing government services, accessing transport services, health services, all this. Why was this measure necessary?
The prime responsibility and duty of any government, any sovereign government, legitimate government, is to, bring order to the society, to the whole society, and protect the benefits, security, and safety of the people, and to secure the routine activities, daily life of people. This is absolutely within the frame of the legality actions. When the society is turned into riot situation, very chaotic, and nobody has safety and security, and because everything, all the lives and also the buildings and property belong to the people, to the whole people. So the government has to take action to protect, and the safety and security of people cannot be compromised when it comes to the
maybe
like actions, terrorist actions, or killings, or riots, or violent actions. So first and foremost, it is the duty of the government. And it's absolutely a legal duty and responsibility of the government.
And how did this affect the ordinary Iranians who depend on internet on their daily to-day activities?
What has happened was that, the government had to disconnect internet because all the what is happening in Iran, all the communications, orders, guidances, all those organized groups, they were receiving their instructions through the internet, international internet. And the government had to disconnect it. And then after the disconnection, everything was calm and down because the channel for communication between terrorist groups and those who were giving guidance and organized them and supporting them, it was disconnected. And that was the best solution that the government could
But now how
take for
did the
controlling.
Iranians get affected with all this?
And of course, we have our internal domestic intranets that, banking systems, all transportation, all the public services, everything domestically inside the country. We have intranet, so all the business and all the affairs as usual are going on. No disconnection. And everything is continued as it should be. But from international internet, it was disconnected, and as a result, the Iranian authorities and they could bring back the order, and now it's everything calm and down, and people they are living as usual, very routinely. So for the time being, there is no anymore any unrest or anything that can be worried about. And the government has announced that in addition to the intranet that we have internally, international internet is also getting back on a phase by phase. So it's getting back, and so let's see what will be the final decision in terms of the timing and the date of the bringing back the internet.
Now, a common one should be interested to know, are there Kenyan nationals in Iran? Like citizens of Kenya, do we have them in Iran?
I don't have an exact number of those Kenyan nationals, but there are few of them. In terms of political corps, diplomatic corps, they are fine. They have their own channel of communications. And if there is any Kenyan national in Iran who needs to be communicated, they can call by telephone directly, or they can also arrange and coordinate with them embassy. They could provide the facilities to them. And from here, if they are not able, if there is a family or somebody who needs to get in touch with Iran, we can facilitate for them to get in touch with Iran. But for the time now, the international cars and roamings are back, and internet will be back soon. This is what I hope.
So can we confirm that our Kenyan nationals are safe there?
Of course they are safe. All the foreign nationals are safe and nothing happened to them. But as long as they are not directly involved in violent actions or in protests.
Now, Kenyans, you'll find them everywhere in the world, yeah? And like you've mentioned, they're also in Iran. Now, what are some of the activities or rather relations that Kenya and Iran do share?
So in terms of bilateral relations between Iran and Kenya, as you are well aware, Iran and Kenya have had a very long historical relations. It goes back centuries ago. But in recent decades, over the past decades, especially after independence in Kenya and the Islamic Republic Revolution, victory of the Islamic Republic Revolution in Iran, the relations between countries has been increasing and strengthened. Now we have very good, friendly, amicable relations between two countries. There are a lot of cultural, political, and trade investment engagements going on between the two countries and between the two nations. The one of the most important milestone developments in regards to the bilateral relations, what happened in August 2025, where we had seventh round of joint cooperation commission session in Nairobi. And there a big delegation from Iran participated, leading by the Minister of Agriculture on behalf of the government, and from Kenya. The delegation was leading by His Excellency Honorable PCS Mudawadi, with a big delegation. The two sides, from public and private sector, they had their own engagements and B2B discussions. And as a result, we reached to very good documents, MOUs and agreements in many different areas, from cultural to economic to trade to investment. And now we are in the phase of following to implement those agreements. That main part are relating to trade aspect. But of course, you know that there are challenges in front of it, especially for trade between two countries, trade and investment. And it's almost due to sanction regimes, imposed sanction regime by coercive measures by the United States and few others. But we are very much hopeful that those will not prevent two countries that are from the global south and developing countries. And due to the very friendly relations, I am very much hopeful that these challenges could be addressed and sorted out by the will of cooperation that exists between the two sides, from two sides. So, and we are working for that purpose.
You've mentioned about trading for that common Kenyan citizen who doesn't know much about Iran. Can you maybe paint a picture for them on what maybe Kenya exports to Iran or what Kenya imports from Iran?
Traditionally, what we were importing from Kenya are mainly agricultural products, and in particular tea, coffee, and fruits, tropical fruits. From our side, the exports from Iran are mainly petrochemicals, especially bitumen, and construction materials like tiles, stones, and there are many other opportunities in that sector, construction. So Iran has very well experience and has a lot of experience in doing projects for infrastructure and construction. So the Iranian companies are ready to export and even to bring a part of their activities and place it in Kenya in terms of investment or joint venture. The other products that are usually exported from are pharmaceutical and medicines. You know, pharmaceutical and in health sector in general, Iran has a very high quality sector in terms of the hospital equipment, the pharmaceutical products, and also the experts. So that puts the ground ready for health tourism that we are following. And I do believe that because of the very low prices in Iran for treatment, all different types of sickness and issues for health, all those who are in need of treatment, they can plan and go to Iran for the continuation of the treatment. And I assure them that they will find it one of the best qualified medical services that they can receive, and in particular they will pay much less. So the price is very, very competitive, and it is not comparable with other destinations that usually people go. And from the other side, on health sector, we are ready to extend our hands to the Kenyan people, even to invest in hospitals, in exporting very cheap, high qualified medicines, And we are working on that. And we have had a lot of progress in getting the clearances, the allowances, and GMPs. And so that's going on. We have had already, and we are going to get more GMPs in order to provide the grant for export.
Maybe before you share more on those future plans to expand our relationship, maybe can you share with us on how this political unrest in Iran maybe has affected the Kenya-Iran relation?
Because Iran has been under sanctions, we have already have been affected. I mean, the relations has been affected, but we have been able and successful in continue in one way or another the engagement between business, especially for private sectors. And I don't believe that it can bring any difficulty, at least from Iranian side. So, I mean, all the channels are open. We have a shipping line between Mombasa and Bandar Abbas in Iran. And although we don't have direct flight, but the flights are there, and people, they can go, and from Iran they can come. But it's over, because unrest is over. It was for a very short time, but now it's everything come and back.
So nothing has been affected?
I don't believe that it will affect the kind of business between Iranians and Kenyans. So all Kenyans, all Iranians are able to come and go, and they do their business as usual.
Good. Now, you had started sharing about the future plans to expand Kenya and Iran relations. Maybe can you share with us a bit more specifics for that common Kenyan to also understand?
The expansion
of the Kenya and Iran
widening
relations.
the relations between Iran and Kenya has been always on agenda, especially for the governments. From both sides. Now we have very good active ambassador of Kenya in Iran, His Excellency Mwangi. So, and here also our embassy in Kenya is very active, and it's our agenda, is actually our priority to focus on trade and investment and economic cooperation. And we have followed very closely and seriously all these initiatives. From both sides. And I mean, there is a real will for expanding relations from Kenyan side and Iranian side. And Africa nowadays, in general, in particular in East of Africa, Kenya, due to its geopolitical situation, is on the top list of priority for Iran to work and engage. So we are planning. We have planned, and we are planning for more exchanges in terms of business people, in terms of government, and I mean public and private exchanges. We are planning for, we have planned and we have already announced that Iran is ready to grant scholarship to those who are willing to go to Iran to study. Academic exchanges, we are fully ready to do that. Cultural engagement, we are ready. And we have had already very good experiences in that regard. In cinema and film industry, we are finalizing an MOU. So based on that, when it's signed, and we are following for its expedited signing, then we can have very good cooperation and initiatives in terms of cultural engagement and movie documentaries and so forth. And in business, we are ready to provide all petrochemical products and goods that are needed and there is a demand in Kenya with very good competitive and price and high quality. For industrial joint ventures, Iranian companies like car maker companies or agricultural machinery production companies, they are ready to come and have their business and investment here. But it requires some sort of government support and facilities in order to give them assurances and guarantee their investments when they come. Because under the sanction regime. So always those who are wishing to come and invest, they are worried one way or another, and they need some assurances, public and government assurances. That's something that we are working on. That we are also we propose, and it is in the MOU of the JCC, Joint Economic Cooperation session in Nairobi, and both sides agreed to start negotiations on an agreement, a trade agreement between two countries. So that trade agreement is a very crucial instrument in facilitating and supporting the trade between two countries, especially in between the private sector. So it has been agreed, and now we need to exchange the proposed drafts and then start negotiations on the terms of such an agreement. Although it may take some time to finalize, but we are working on that. We have initiated already, we have agreed, and we are going to start it soon. So these are the steps that we can take. And on political side, we are, in 2023, we had very high visit by our late martyred President Raisi. He had a state visit to Kenya. And many other delegations have visited from Iran at the highest level, at the level of the deputy president, ministers, deputy ministers, different delegations. They have visited, and so from our side also we have few delegations from Kenya, but still we expect that from Kenya we have delegations at a high level to visit Iran reciprocally, and in order to keep this momentum for improving and strengthening even further the relations.
Now, you mentioned some challenges when it comes to Kenya and Iran, especially trading. Now, one of them was about the sanctions. What is Iran doing to curb this challenge, maybe?
The challenge of sanction, if I got you correctly. The main part of the challenge that comes due to sanctions is banking system, because at the time there is no banking system exist between. All the companies, business communities, people who do business, they are not able to transact through banking system, and this is one of the serious obstacles. However, we do believe, and we have worked on that, and we have good experience in that regard.
Maybe
that both sides, of course, they can have their trade in bartering or in other, let's say, alternative ways and means of transactions, maybe in third parties, but it is a bit challenging in some way, but it is there, and many businessmen and women, they are doing their business through that, and so it is continued. But of course, it's a challenge. It's a real serious challenge, and so it is an imposed unilateral regime of sanctions by U.S. and few others, and we expect that those countries who are independent, like Kenya, that they will not follow those sanctions. This is our wish. Of course, each and every individual country and government has its own concerns and priorities, but this is something that we do believe. Now it has been imposed on Iran, and tomorrow maybe others, and who knows, and everybody could be subject to such illegal, unilateral coercive measures which are going against international law and the spirit of multilateralism and cooperation.
Great. Now, as we wind up,
yes,
what would you want Kenyans to understand about Iran from what you're just seeing on the news?
Oh, that's very important thing that you mentioned. My recommendation to your viewers, distinguished fans, and those who follow your channel is that everybody nowadays needs to be very careful to discriminate between those media that are telling the truth or those who are not telling the truth. Because everything can be constructed, made. And many media from the mainstream, they are making what they are what are on their agenda in terms of geopolitical agenda, foreign policy agenda, national interests. And so we need to be very careful in choosing which source of information and data we are referring and looking for. So that's very important. And I do believe that they need at least to diversify their sources and especially take a look into the subject. For example, in this case, Iran is a subject to the news. But we based on our assessment, and it is the fact that all those medias from the mainstream, they are fabricating, and they are not reflecting what is on the ground, the facts on the ground. The facts on the ground can be achieved through diversifying the resources to expose yourself directly to those sources inside Iran. And also, there is an opportunity, if there is an opportunity, a chance for people, those who are able, they can go and visit themselves, the reality, the society, the people, and then they will get themselves directly.
How is the society?
The society is very safe now. It's absolutely safe, and now it was done. And it was, we had a 12 days of war. An act of aggression committed by the Israeli regime, Zionist regime of Israel and the US. They attacked Iran, many cities, homes, civilians, military and civilian infrastructure, nuclear facilities. That there were peaceful nuclear facilities that they were under comprehensive safeguards and inspections. So they committed that kind of aggression, and it continued for 12 days. We believe, based on the facts, that these violence acts and terrorist acts that happened in Iran during the protests, it was the 13th day of that war against Iran. We do not separate between them. It was a continuation of that plan to put pressure on Iran to destabilize the society and then to get their objectives. They couldn't get their objectives during those 12 days of war, but they tried to achieve it through a 13th day, through these kind of violent acts and terrorist acts. And still they are putting pressure, they are threatening, as you know, the President of the United States, day by day threatening Iran, that they will use force, they will attack Iran. And it is a blatant violation and breach of international law, its norms and principles. In international law, we have the Charter of the United Nations. All the principles are enshrined in that charter. And we have principles of non-interference in domestic affairs, non-resorting to force or threatening of using force in resolving disputes and conflicts, and then the principle of forbidding the resorting to force. And there is only two exceptions for resorting and using force or threatening use. One is in self-defense that Iran did during the 12 days. Mm-hmm. Now we say the 13 days of aggression against Iran. And based on this self-defense is based on the Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations. And when the cases that has been called for using force by the Security Council of the United Nations under Article 7 of the Charter. So that's only two exceptions. And there is no other case or area that a country or a government can use force bilaterally under any sort of pretext. Mm-hmm. Either it is a pretext like preemptive defense, which has no place in international law. It's absolutely wrongful kind of interpretation. Mm-hmm. So all these pressures still is continuing on Iran to destabilize the country, and also, as they have claimed, to maybe one day to lead it to a regime change.
Now, with this pressure, like, how are the people in Iran at the moment? Has things started getting back to normal?
People now they are living and they have back to their normal life. Everything is continued, but of course, economic situation is something that we need to realize it. Like, and of course, it has been acknowledged by all the authorities. And now to think about how they can address and respond to the needs and demands of the people. And people now they are living very, very normal. It's fine.
That's good to hear. Now, if I was to visit Iran today, what should I expect from the country? How is the place like?
If you are planning to go to Iran to
Yes.
visit, first of all, you need to apply for visa. We will facilitate it for you. And then when you are in Iran, you will yourself, you will realize that how Iranian people are, they show their hospitality spirit. So you will feel at home. Everywhere, all the places are safe. You can go and visit as usual. There is nothing to be worried about.
And this is beautiful places and good food.
Of course, there are. Iran, in terms of all the historical attractions, has been listed in the UNESCO list as the 10th country in terms of the number of sites that has been registered by UNESCO officially. So Iran is very rich in terms of historical and those are attractions. And then when you are in Iran, so you would have the opportunity to go and visit many different cities, many different places, and I assure you that you will enjoy in a very safe and sound manner.
Thank you for that assurance.
All the best.
I think that is what all of us needed to hear, that it is safe to actually travel to Iran right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bon Ambassador. We've come to the end of our interview today. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time and that you have given to us. Pleasure. It's my honor.
Dear viewers, that marks the end of our exclusive interview today with Dr. Ali Gholampour, the Iranian ambassador to Kenya. Follow us on our social media platforms on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all through at Mahditv Kenya, and get to listen to more interviews like this. Ma salam.